Etepu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Qesankh my Keperu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, I want to cover Lizzie, Cardi B, and Megan Thee Stallion and how they are absolute frauds. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, subscribe to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you'd like to know more about my spiritual teachings, you can just scroll down below, click on the links, and download an ebook, free ebook, and start reading today. The other thing is, if you want to take that journey to the next level and follow the rabbit down the rabbit hole, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, $20 per month. You can cancel at any time. There is no obligation. You'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, videos on how to work with the oracles, tarot, Medunatir, I-ching, how to summon spirits for your protection, how to shift to a new reality, videos on how to do self-hypnosis so you don't engage in overeating or get involved in negative habits, and so much more. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started. You know, when I was in the Kemetic culture and I was studying a lot about the higher science, we studied from the Chinese sages, not just the Lao Tse, but the Emperor's Yellow Book, things that would talk about health. But one of the most important things was Qigong. Qigong talks about when there are dysfunctions in human behavior, it's coming from a particular organ that doesn't have enough yin or yang. And it was wonderful to see how that could be corrected. Now, I want you, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I want you to understand that the ruling elite, our society, ever since slavery has ended in this country for both blacks and whites, because white people were slaves too, until Bacon's Rebellion, and they got that idea to separate us and create a taskmaster class by the white class system to keep blacks in check. But I want you to understand that they have known ever since slavery that we have been dysfunctional, that we have ill health, mental instability. Now, I want you to understand a very, very famous quote, you know, it's no matter of achievement to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. The masses of white people have a psychosis. They are very, very sick as well. But I want you to pay particular attention to those of us who have been released from slavery and are now trying to acclimate into the world, into the dominant culture. And the dominant culture does its media propaganda to make it seem like we're on par with white people and that everything's okay. You don't go through trauma and then expect yourself to come out to be a whole person. And they know this. And chief among the things that they're doing, and the reason why they're keeping the dysfunctionalism going, if you can also look at case studies of the Tuskegee experiment, where they allowed these people to have, these men to have syphilis. They knew they could have cured them, but they allowed them to have syphilis to study the effects of syphilis on them. They know that we are dysfunctional, and they use that to their advantage. See, their goal is to depopulate the country, the planet of people of color, specifically black people. This is their evil agenda. And in order to do that, they mustn't give you reparations, because you would use that money and funnel that money into health programs, economic programs, political programs, and make you a more balanced, well person. So they're not going to give you reparations for that. They know that you're mentally dysfunctional, mentally ill. And what they do is they exacerbate it. And to exacerbate it means to create more destruction and dysfunctionalism, and to depopulate the earth with from having people of color. This is why they create organizations like feminism, the LGBTQ, and then get those organizations to they pit those organizations against Black people. They tell feminists, they tell members of the LGBTQ, your enemy is the Black man. Your enemy is a heterosexual Black man. Your enemy is a straight Black woman. And then they get them to fight each other for resources. Even though if you look at the promotion by Biden and especially Obama of the LGBTQ community, even though it only represents less than 4%, less than that, probably 3%, less than 3% even in the African American community, but yet the entire African American community in the country is about 14% of the population. But whose interests do you see being pushed to the forefront? Who is given more press and more protection? Because you see, when you're looking to eradicate and eliminate a group of people through genocide, you will use means like creating these organizations through think tank institutions, and then having these organizations as controlled opposition in a way to pit them against your enemy. BLM is a controlled opposition organization, specifically designed to attack straight Black males, to funnel over $1 billion that is collected and put that money into the LGBTQ community and never send that money to the men and the families who have died through the police shootings. It's all a media con game. And you, as a consumer, a big mass consumer, because that's what a lot of African Americans are, they consume media and they believe the media is real. I work in the film industry. I know how the studios and the PR companies do things, spin things, lie all the time. This is why you're seeing the proliferation of all of these gay characters in the modern movies now. This is not by accident, people. You see, the studios are all operating from the same playbook. They all suddenly decided that they're going to have, which is a lie, quote unquote, diversity, but really diversity under the guise of promoting the gay and lesbian lifestyle. Now, I've always said, when you want to do that, that's your prerogative. Nothing wrong with that. But if you introduce it as a Trojan horse and you weaponize it, then that's subterfuge. We know there's something not right. So we need to be more educated and smart in how we look at what's being put out there and proselytized. And we're not at all. Not at all. We're losing. Because the majority, especially of Black women, fall for this stuff. They fall for it. They promote it. They go along with it. That's not to say that Black men are have better logical discerning skills, but in some ways that's true. In some ways the reverse is true. But I want you to understand this. The media does nothing but lie. It does nothing but lie. It lied to you about Trump. It lied to you about Biden. It lied about the war in Iraq. It lied to you about 9/11. It's lied to you about so many things, the nature of reality, who you are, religion. It has lied to you. And it will continue to do so. And you are constantly believing it. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. And it's slowly but surely killing you. Do you understand? It's killing you. Especially one of the biggest lies here is the music industry. Clifton, yeah, that's what we have to practice is Minhab, exactly. Let me explain something to you. The days of true artists in the music industry are gone. The people you see in the music industry, from Prince to Michael Jackson to Madonna, are all fabrications. They're archetypes. They were dreamed up in a record company executive office. Miley Cyrus created an executive record company office. These people did not come out, pay their dues, were talented, and then got recognized for their talented. The record boardroom full of Illuminatis said we need to control and manipulate the female population so they won't be good mothers, they'll be sluts, they won't be attractive to men, to slow the population down. They'll push the LGBT community agenda, which they don't really care about the LGBTQ agenda. They're just using them as a Trojan horse. They're weaponizing them as pawns on a chess game to put them against others. So these satanic record company executives come together and they say, we need a thought. And then they just go out there and they pick a woman and they say, do you agree to do all this, that, and the third? And if she says yes, she signs her name on a dotted line. She signs her soul away, and there is born Lizzie or Lizzo. But we need more. We need another thought. We bring out Cardi B, who said that she has drugged men and had them have gay sex without their knowledge. And then we'll bring out Megan Thee Stallion. And then we'll dress them up. We'll give them the music. We'll put them on the concert stage. We'll fully support them on the radio stations with the DJs. They'll have to do nothing. We'll push them out there, but they'll be phonies. They'll have no real talent. This slutty female singer who supposedly is in touch with her femininity and her feminist notions is a very old archetype. It's antiquated. Madonna has done it. Miley Cyrus has done it. Nicki Minaj has done it. And those who've been in it a long time, once they get out, readily admit, oh yeah, it's all satanic and Illuminati behind it. But you see, you think Lizzo, Cardi B, and Megan Thee Stallion are just like you. You think that they're just a girl from the street who got a shot, and now she's up on the big stage. That's bull. That's bull. These individuals were picked, selected, crafted, given millions of dollars, and participated in satanic rituals to sell their soul so they can control you. See, in ancient Kemet, in ancient European kingdoms, we knew the power of troubadours. We knew the power of music through Hedaru to manipulate the mindset through song, through dance. And they had to destroy Black women by creating the archetype of the slut, the woman who won't follow her man, the woman who has no care about how her body looks, who's mentally dysfunctional and not a good mother, who's pregnant and on stage talking about WAP, who's bisexual, who hates men. This is the archetype. This is the ideology that they put forth in every one of these women, from Lizzo, Cardi B, Madonna, Megan Thee Stallion. What is Miley Cyrus doing on stage holding a penis? And you have a Baphomet in the back. That's satanic. Get with it. But you believe that Lizzo stands for freedom of expression of women and female empowerment. That is not true. That's a lie. She is a symbol to just look at Lizzo, for example, how BET and all these image awards were given to her. Morbidly obese, that's what she is. Just went on TED Talk to talk about twerking. TED Talk is supposed to be for intellectual discussions. And here she gets on there taking her shoes off to talk about twerking. This isn't outright. And I want you to understand that these women are controlled and manipulated mentally, physically, financially by a very powerful global institution that hides behind the scenes. Keep that in mind. There's a young woman who did a little thing on Lizzo, where Lizzo responded to the criticism of her going on the TED Talks and everything and twerking. And she's playing the victim mentality. And I want you to listen to the letter that Lizzo wrote so you understand how you're being manipulated. This is going to be, I'm play an excerpt from the Crimson Cure channel. The sister's going to read this. But the thing I want you to pay attention is, listen to the wording of Lizzo's response. She's hitting every checkbox. Oh, you're attacking me because you're a racist. You're attacking me because I'm, you're body shaming me. You're attacking me because I'm female empowerment. She didn't write that letter. That was written by the record company executives to hit all those check boxes to say, to shame you because you want to hold these media personalities to a higher standard, that you don't want them putting out their garbage and influencing our people. So I just want you to listen to a little bit of this letter that, again, she did not write, but they're trying to make it seem like she wrote it. Same way when Cardi B was attacking Malcolm X, she wrote a letter supposedly saying, well, what is the problem now? You know, she didn't write that. She didn't write that email. But anyway, let's just, let me share this so you can get an understanding where I'm coming from with this. All right. And then Lizzo has the nerve to break down, of course. She has to break down because everybody's attacking her. And it's phony. She's not breaking down.
So Lizzo breaks down over hate, negativity. Cardi and celebs defend her. Cardi just added more context to the controversy. She wrote, rumors is doing great. Stop trying to say the song is flopping to dismiss a woman's emotions on bullying or acting like they need sympathy. The song is top 10 on all platforms. Body shaming and calling her mammy is mean and racist AF. Lizzo is once again batting off haters.
So I want you to, in just that those couple of sentences, look at all of the buzzwords she put in there. Fat shaming, women, I mean, you can just see how they're throwing these SJW terms out there to deflect against what she's doing. So I want you to listen to just all of these terms that that Lizzo and her fat ass would never write. Listen again.
Down, all out in public. Every time you turn around, our good friend Lizzo. So this is what we're gonna do. First, I'm gonna read the article, then I'm gonna play the clip because the clip is 12 minutes, and I'm gonna be stopping it to give you my perspective on things. Okay, so Lizzo breaks down over hate, negativity. Cardi and celebs defend her. Cardi just added more context to the controversy. She wrote, rumors is doing great. Stop trying to say the song is flopping to dismiss a woman's emotions on bullying or acting like they need sympathy. The song is top 10 on all platforms. Body shaming and calling her mammy is mean and racist AF. Lizzo is once again batting off haters who have nothing but mean things to say about her, but this time it's truly gotten to her because she's in tears on camera, as she usually is. They forgot to add that part. The singer went live Sunday and wrote down over what she says is growing negativity aimed in her direction following the release of her and Cardi B's new song Rumors, which Lizzo says amounts to fat shaming, racism, and accusations of catering to white audiences. Lizzo says, despite trying to put positive energy in the world through her music or posts or whatever, she feels like she oftentimes receives more hatred back than love. And while she notes that she's got thick skin for that type of thing, it's weighing on her hard now. She makes a valid point, namely that if you're not into her music or persona or anything else about her artistry, just change it out to someone else. Instead, however, Lizzo says she's been noticing people go out of their way to belittle her and she can't make sense of it. This is nothing new for her. Lizzo's dealt with this type of hate since splashing onto the scene, and she's usually pretty good about telling people to kick rocks. She ends up doing that here as well, but this video was truly a peek at how hard all the trash talking is hitting her armor, and heartbreaking to say the least. Even Cardi felt compelled to speak up. She writes, when you stand up for yourself, they claim that you're problematic and sensitive. When you don't, they tear you apart until you're crying like this.
Now notice how, look, they got Cardi B's in her corner, of course, because Cardi B's in the record, the industry. They're going to have to make sure these other women stand by each other. And notice how she keeps asserting to this idea that she's being attacked by asserting her freedom, standing up for herself. She's not. She's not. She's doing things that no woman should do. You don't go and start twerking on a TED Talk. You don't go twerking, and then furthermore, you have these women who they prompt up running around talking about how they want to sleep with these white men or sleep with these men, and they have this list of men they want to sleep with. And they put that out there. That's disgusting. That's slutty and whorish behavior. Are you telling me it's okay for Lizzo to run around talking about how she wants to bed certain men publicly? Are you telling me it's okay for Cardi B to talk about how she drugged men and then had trannies get in bed with them and had sex with them without these men's knowledge? So I want you to understand what they're trying to deflect from: accountability, responsibility, trying to trash the image of Black women. So your fight is not necessarily against these individuals, but it's against a corporate conglomerate. It's against a system that is trying to eradicate you from the planet by putting up these false women, these false images as female empowerment, liberation. But anyway, let's continue.
Skinny, big, plastic, they are going to always try to put their insecurities on you. Remember, these are nerds looking at the popular table. Other celebs have come to her defense as well, including Chloe Bailey. Lizzo said she's going to start focusing on positive, ignore hate messages she might read about herself on social media and elsewhere. To be honest, that sounds like a great idea. To be honest, it should have been something that she's been doing. But I'm gonna come back to me for a little second there. We're gonna break down just exactly why Lizzo keeps on breaking down in public like this. Now, when I play this video, I'm gonna be stopping to give my perspective throughout. So you need to stay tuned for that. But we are gonna hear this woman go through a whole lot of cognitive dissonance and dishonoring herself by not telling herself the truth. Because that's what it boils down to. You dishonor yourself when you don't tell yourself the truth. You're going to hear how her mind is working. Let's just get to it.
But on the days I feel like I should be the happiest, I feel so down. Like, I worked so hard. been working triple time, like quadruple time. It's like doing like 12 hours a day of promos and interviews, doing studio, going to the studio with a fucking root canal, gotten a root canal twice, and gone to the studio and recorded music, wrote songs. I'm in rehearsal.
I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be upset about her getting millions and millions of dollars and doing a root canal. And obviously she comes on to do this thing with this whole stocking on her head, when she knows she doesn't have to look that way, but she's trying to fool you into believing she's sincere, and she's breaking down because people are upset at her and her obese ass shaking in front of a bunch of white people looking like a mammy, because they're okay with that, because they're used to seeing women in a mammy role, black women in a mammy role. That's what she represents, the archetype of a mammy. So she has 2 root canals. Well, whoopee freaking do. Welcome to the world. We've all had root canals. That's nothing new. I want you to keep in mind that this is all staged by the record companies. There's nothing organic. There's nothing truthful behind her supposed breaking down and crying. It's all a facade to make you see. If they can get you more sympathetic, then you'll say, well, why are we picking on her? Why are we picking on Lizzo, Cardi B, and Megan Thee Stallion? Well, you're picking on them because pregnant women shouldn't be on stage kissing each other. You're picking on them because you always should be watching your weight, maintaining good health. You shouldn't be promoting a lifestyle that's detrimental to a people who are already oppressed and fallen. If you know that 80% of African American women suffer from obesity, if you know that there is a mental dysfunction in the African American community and there is an inequality in wealth and economics, you don't promote certain things. You don't promote an idea of feminism, especially when it was created by individuals like Margaret Sanger, to hate against Black men for supposedly in a patriarchy. So I want you to keep in mind what they're doing. You see, they know that music is what moves people. Music is what influences people. That's why the kings and queens of ancient Europe used troubadours. And that's an important thing because the message goes into the subconscious mind. It sticks and it stays there. And they know if they want to destroy a certain segment of society, the attack must be against women. They have done such a job of destroying the Black female image, and they're working on the white female image as well. See, all of this is smoke and mirrors. This whole Bruce Jenner becoming a woman thing, but not really wanting to have the real surgery, that's all staged. That's all facade. I'm sorry if you don't like it. But they came to him and they offered him millions and millions of dollars to put this thing on, this act on, to go along with this. Because if he was sincere, he would have had that sex change. But the industry has an agenda to control and move the population in a certain direction. And that direction is to depopulate the planet. And it's not a thing about depopulation when we're talking about just African Americans. We're talking about white people too. They want to decrease the population of white people as well. This is why the foods and the air is all injected with chemicals to kill us off slowly but surely. You have people who are natural indigenous people living very long and healthy lives, but yet we have to periodically go to the doctor or else we'll be dead the next week. What's up with that? Typical left-brain mentality. So this we get so caught up in the music, and it distracts us from making real progress. Because all we're doing is idol worshiping. We see these individuals and this money that they have, so we have to think we want to be like that. We're so brainwashed and controlled. To me, it's almost to the point of too late. And then you justify your behavior by calling it, part of the culture. Young black man opened a restaurant, a family-oriented restaurant. And as soon as he opened the restaurant, these women start jumping on the table and twerking. And then they want to chastise him for telling them, take that behavior outside somewhere else. Oh, we're going to close you down. Why? Because I don't want you to create a scene up in here, create a possible insurance liability case up in here by you jumping on tables, twerking. But this is how they're trying to manipulate the mindset to make you seem like what you're doing is right, and that you're asserting your femininity. No, you're not. You're not at all. Because Isis, was the patron mother of the earth, who prepared her young boy, Horus, for kingship. Set was not twerking. Set was not pregnant dancing on stage. Set was not 500 pounds. Dress size 900. Set was meek, conservative, loving, supportive, non-argumentative. But they craft this archetype, this ideology of what a real modern woman should be, which is to be argumentative, boisterous, loud, dancing, overweight. And they want you to emulate this, to destroy a family unit, to destroy a culture. And you actually believe that these women got there through their own merits. No, they were thrown this. It was given to them. They were thrown money and accolades if they would play their role as Satan's little helpers, to bring down a society, to bring down a great people. So I want you to think about the next time you're watching a Miley Cyrus, a Lizzo, Nicki Minaj, and Megan Thee Stallion. And I want you to realize that these women were handpicked by the industry, told what to say, what to do, how to act, and as long as they shut up and play their role, they'll be given money and lots of it. Minhab is an ancient practice that comes out of ancient Kemet, and it's known as Minhab and Anchormat. And it's about how you learn to control your breathing and keep your heart still. When your heart is still and beating at a regular pace, you're not susceptible to emotionalism. You're not susceptible to subliminal seduction. So when one practices Minhab, or means centered, one is practicing the art of controlling one's emotions and not being influenced by the things that we see. The big booties, the big butts, the big breasts, or the six-pack abs, or because he's tall. We're centered, we're at peace, and these things don't influence us. And this brings us, if we continue this practice, to a higher level of thinking. See, when you practice Minhab and Anchormat on a daily basis throughout your life, the synaptic connections within your mind get rewired. Because part of the practice that we do with Minhab and Anchormat is not to laugh. We go through life, when people tell jokes, we don't laugh because we don't give expression to our emotions. That doesn't mean that we're not happy. We are happy, but we're learning that, hey, listen, I exist apart and outside of my emotions. My emotions are part of the Geb vehicle, the Geb body, but they're not who I am, because who I am is consciousness. So I can have the ability not to laugh or not to emotionally respond. And the practice of Minhab and Anchormat teaches you how not to respond to things. In fact, I got so good at Minhab and Anchormat. I got so good at Minhab and Anchormat that when I would go to work as a project manager, people would be panicking because they were late or over budget. I would just be like, okay, let's just solve the problem. Okay. And they were like, why aren't you panicking? Why aren't you upset? That's not going to help change the situation. What's going to help change the situation is me being at peace and having clarity of mind. But see, in American Western culture, you're taught that you must panic. In American culture, you're taught that when a person in your family has died, that you must cry and express emotions. No, in Africa, we didn't do that. In Africa, we were very, very stoic. Stoicism, we were the ones that first created that. And what is stoicism? Minhab and Anchormat. Exactly. Minhab and Anchormat is a Ru function. Exactly, it's a Ru. So the wandering sage, that reading all coincides. So basically, you're giving rise to your emotionalism. 58th hexagram straight up in the I-ching is emotionalism. You're too emotional this year. Stop with the emotionalism. And the Oser is saying to you, combined with the Heteru, it is saying that joy must come from the expression of you as God. That you must allow joy to be an extension of your being as God. Joy is not in the things of the world. Joy is in being Oser. Because as Oser, you can have anything you want. But if you base everything on what you want, on your happiness being on that car, that pet, that trip to Hawaii, if you base your happiness on those things, and when they're taken away from you, you're no longer happy. You lose your peace. This is why you must learn to express joy for being Oser. Because as an Osarian, you can have anything because you become the master magician. You become the emperor in the tarot. You become the magician in the tarot. So you must step back and allow Heteru to guide you to the joy of the oneness of all and the oneness of your being, which is Oser. Oser is the God within. He has no likes or dislikes. He's impartial. He's centered. If you ask Qesankh, do you like black tea or Earl Grey tea? He says, neither. I'm impartial. You ask Qesankh if he's a Democrat or Republican, he'll say, neither. I'm impartial. Because to be the great judge, which is Qesankh or Osiris, you cannot have an emotion left or right. In order to see clearly, you have to be impartial first. And in order to be impartial and to see clearly, you have to practice Minhab and Anchormat. You understand? That's the trick. But see, they know this. They know our Minhab is not tight. This is why they're able to manipulate us with these Cardi B's and Megan, and get these women to align with each other, pretend like they're exercising their natural feminine abilities or feminist ideology, and that people are attacking them for no reason. People are attacking you because they're trying to manipulate, corrupt, demonize, hedonize the Black community. That's what you're trying to do. You are agents of destruction. You are the very opposite you say you're for, which is for the upliftment of Black women. No, you're for the oppression of Black women, the perversion of the image of Black women. That's what you are. And you're not going to fool all of us. You may fool some of us, a great majority of us, but not all of us. You are demigods. And we must accept our role as gods. You see, when you accept your role as God man, God woman, then you know that you have the power to turn away from this. You have the power to see through the lies and deception that these individuals can't influence you, who work for the big corporations. No one who has done an interview with these women, Lizzo, Cardi B, has said, aren't you really just another version of Miley Cyrus or Nicki Minaj or Madonna? Aren't you just another version of these women? Haven't we seen different iterations of you before? What is different? There is no difference. You are a concoction of a corporate giant designed to manipulate the masses of our people to do detrimental things. Because every decade, there's a new one of you. They keep rolling out a new girl who's just as slutty, talks just much about her independence. I don't need a man, I'm independent. It's the same message that they all keep talking about. It's the same thing they all keep doing, jump on stage and be slutty. It's the exact same thing, the exact same behavior, the exact same talking points. Stop being fooled. It's like going to see Raiders of the Lost Ark for the 50th time. And people in the audience are going, wow, this is a great film. I go, yeah, it was great 49 times ago. No, it's great now. Don't you realize it's the same movie being shown over and over and over again? It's nothing new. You're being fed the same movie and asked to pay the same ticket price for a same movie that's been going on for years. Oh, Lizzo, so talented. No, Lizzo's the exact same thing as Cardi B. Cardi B's the exact same thing as Nicki Minaj with the big booty. They're all the same. They ain't changed. They're all spouting the same nonsense. Don't you see through it? This goes like this. All right, girls, sluts, bitches, here we going. All right. Megan Thee Stallion, here's the track, I'm a hoe. Cardi B, here's your new track, Come In Me. Lizzo, here's your new track, Fat Like That. All right, girls, go out there, act as beastly, as ugly, as slutty, as masculine and aggressive as possible. Don't forget the checks. Thank you. You think that these Clifton, yes, she was very into the Kabbalah and she tried to change her life. She was really trying to make a change. Oh, you threw me off track now. Now you threw me off track. All right. So all of these women are creations. There's nothing organic or authentic about them. They're liars. They have sold the human population out. They sold us out. It's not about artistry. It's about embedding your songs and your stuff with words and ideas to influence people to commit slow but sure suicide. Because when you start thinking you don't need a man, I'm independent, that's a form of destroying your people. You're meant to mate, grow, be prosperous. You're not supposed to be just walking around talking about, I don't need a man. Where does that come from? Why would you say such a thing? But that's how deep the programming is. See, the point I was going to make that I almost got distracted on is these record companies are ruthless. Ruthless. You say the wrong thing, cross the wrong person, they will have you taken out. I'm going to let you a little secret before I go. Everyone in the film industry knows there is one person you don't mess with in the film industry. There is one person you don't mess with. And though he may seem okay, innocuous, gentle, everyone knows that if you battle this person, your career is over. Can anyone tell me that in the chat box? See how you guys are hip. Tell me in the chat box, who is this one person in the film industry that every person knows you do not mess with? And for those who think they can mess with them, it's a career stopper. Come on, tell me. Who is this person? I can even tell you, let me get his age real quick. His age. And they even have like South Park shows and stuff, talking about this. Born November 18th, 1928. He is 92 years old. And you don't mess with this guy. Come on, guys. Anybody know? Anybody know? I got a prize for anybody who comes up with the correct answer. You will get a prize if you come up with the correct answer. There's one woman recently who challenged this man. And now word is she's on her way out. Her career is over. There's one woman who I worked with years ago when she was a child actress, who people are saying it's over for her. And don't forget to donate to the channel. Everyone in Hollywood knows, every actor knows, you don't mess with the mouse. You don't mess with the mouse. You don't mess with Walt Disney. Walt Disney is a powerful giant of a company that owns publishing, news media outlets, theme parks, TV stations. You don't mess with the mouse. That's the one thing you will hear from actors in Hollywood. And if you're willing to play that game, good luck for you. Scarlett Johansson is now filed a lawsuit against Disney for showing her movies on Disney Plus alongside theater distribution. And the mouse has gone on the attack. And it's not pretty. Everybody thinking, oh, they'll work with Scarlett Johansson. You know, she's a long-term veteran of Disney film or working with Disney. She's a woman too. They're going to play it soft. No, the mouse don't play that. Watch the South Park episode of what happens when you cross the mouse. Mickey don't play that. Mickey is not a nice person. He may seem cute with the mouse ears, but he's all business. When you cross Mickey, you're done. You're done. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you donate to the channel. This is Qesankh Ma'at Keperu, son of Ma'at and Tahuti. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next broadcast, Amen Ra.